it's still the buzz, midweek edition. Now, let's talk Betta Gate. That is one trending topic on social media. Now, I'll give us like a background info on this whole hula baloo about the suspended humanitarian minister. Well, a few days ago, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, announced the suspension of the CEO of the National Social Investment Program, NSIPA, in the person of Halima Shehu, under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation for financial misconduct. Now, EFCC operatives subsequently arrested Halima Shehu, and during investigation, it was discovered that she moved a whopping 40 billion naira belonging to NSIPA to personal and corporate bank accounts linked to her. Now, Halima Shehu also informed the operatives that she moved the money to private accounts linked to her because Dr. Betta, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, was transferring monies from NSIPA's account to personal accounts. She reportedly alleged that over 3 billion naira has been moved so far by the minister, and her action was taken to block her from accessing she took that action to block the minister from accessing the 40 billion naira that she was accused of moving. Okay, so while that conversation was ongoing, a memo written by the minister, Betta, to the Accountant General of the Federation seeking authorization of payment of 585 million naira to the personal account of one Oniyelu Bridget for GVG program in Cross River State and Ogun State also surfaced. And she issued a statement confirming the authenticity of the memo and claiming that she obtained necessary approvals. She also claimed that the beneficiary of the money is a project accountant of the GVG scheme. Now, the Accountant General of the Federation issued a counter statement disowning the minister, Betta, and the AGF in a statement stated that her office declined the minister's requests and further informed her of the illegality in her action. Of course, we know it is inappropriate in the public service to transfer payments for projects into personal accounts, which the minister is allegedly accused of having done. Now, since the AGF did not authorize the payment, under whose authority did the minister act to transfer the said sum, that is 585 million, to the account of Oniyelu Bridget? Now, this whole brouhaha has actually led to the suspension of the minister by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and it doesn't end there. The EFCC, who are investigating this matter, they have also invited bank chiefs over the alleged fraud. Yesterday, we hear that the bank chiefs actually visited the EFCC offices and handed over documents of accounts operated by the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry to the EFCC to help with the ongoing investigation. Now, the chiefs invited Dr. Ebenezer Onyagu of Zenith Bank, Haruna Musa of Jais Bank, and Walter Akpani of Providence Bank. All right. Now, that is just like a background story. A lot more has been discussed on the social media space regarding this issue. And of course, it has gotten the hashtag BettaGate. Let's talk about BettaGate, Mr. Nuruddin Adegbenro.
If you think you've seen La Casa, by the time you see La Casa, you know, it really pained me on Betta. Seriously, I must confess. Maybe because when she was commissioner for help in Cross River, I interviewed her and I spoke her. She's very, very brilliant. And anything that has to do with female, I always think that in management they also do better.
We do.
But in this case,
we still do.
What men cannot do, women can do much, much more better. One thing there is this, let us be sincere. Betta Hedu really surprised a lot of Nigerians with this bureaucracy and changing of memos that have happened between our own ministry and the AGF, and you still went ahead. Number one. Then number two, with the knowledge that I know about governance, this kind of memo usually being written by permanent secretary, not the minister. Minister does not sign check. How is now the one instructing, moving the money from ministry account to personal account?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No, he didn't deny that the money was moved. So that one was not denied. But one thing is that how can our politicians have access to money? The civil servants are there. That's why the permanent secretary is the official secretary of that ministry. There is no money that can go out of a ministry if the permanent secretary. That's why they call him permanent secretary. He's going to be there until he retires. He can work with different persons. So now, what is the problem? A 36-year-old woman, in how many months she was sworn in August? We are in January, for God's sake. Then another thing again is this. One, we need to credit the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We need to credit him for that suspension. But it should not end there. We need to comment. We remember, during the time of Buhari, we know how much we shouted when Madam Faruku was feeding Nigerian poor children that are not in school during the COVID-19. And nothing happened. Thank God that something is happening now. That EFCC is already questioning her. But at that time, upon all our shouting, we remember when the former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, unilaterally changed the code of NBC and nothing happened. And the president did not remove him. So if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspending this particular woman, I think we need to give him kudos for that. But it should not end there. With the investigation going on, we want to know that some questions we need to ask. One, who is the owner of that particular account? Who is? We want to know the profile of that particular person. Although I, as a journalist, have known the person, I know her picture, I know what she does. But we want to know who is that person. Number two, how come the money being spent for consultants in every of our humanitarian whatever is always huge? Then three, which power did the minister, humanitarian minister has to move money? Because it is supposed to, it's supposed to be the work that is going to be done by. How is it?
All right, because of our time.
All these things is what we need to know. Then another thing again is that after the investigation, we want to see Betta being prosecuted if he's found guilty. If he's found guilty.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Shopiton, let me have your summation.
Well, it's sad. It's very unfortunate, but it's not new. This is our story as a country. Public officials vandalizing, vanquishing, whatever word you want to use, public finance. So it's not new. And very instructive too is the fact that what she did happens in our public services. It's actually not new. So it almost seems as if there is uproar over this because somebody blew the whistle. That's the only reason this came out. Public funds go into private accounts all the time in government. It's against the rules, it's illegal, it's an avenue for embezzlement and diversion, but it happens. And I actually have a report here by Budget NG. Their sister and call tracker, where they just gave a list of about 20 or 30 transactions, and they just said it's just a sampling from different ministries. So the payments that were made to ex-militants in the Niger Delta, a lot of those payments, first of all, went into private accounts of people that worked in those ministries, and then they now went to go and pay cash. It's illegal, but that's what happened. It happened in Niger Delta Development Commission. It happened, I have the list here.
Of the mic.
So many, of the mic issue, and all of that. So I think what this is just showing is that we have, as we all know, we have fundamental problems with corruption. The president throwing Betta under the bus because that's what has happened. I said it on air on Monday that she was going to be used as a scapegoat. And that's exactly what is happening now. She should feel the full brunt of the law. I would imagine, I don't think, for example, that she will be prosecuted or she will go to jail. This is Nigeria. So what has happened is that the president has quickly milked this situation of as much goodwill as he can in terms of, you know, trying to show that he's an anti-corruption person. The evidence of that, the reality or the veracity of that stance will be seen in what happens to her eventually. Will she go to jail? Because what she did is there is an offense. She broke the law. It's a criminal offense. So she should end up in prison. No hard feelings. No, I don't know her personally. I don't have anything against her. It's just what it is. She should end up in jail. So for us to celebrate this and say, yes, we are now getting somewhere as a country, she should end up in jail. And everybody that is involved in this, including the Bridget Oniyemi, you know, should also end up in jail with her. Why is she the only one that we're hearing her name? What's going to happen to Farouk? Farouk, the minister, you know, what's going to happen to the Shehu? That, for goodness sake, you know, that excuse. What kind of ridiculous excuse is that to say, I moved 38 billion
to personal
account to prevent it from being stolen? I mean, like, are you kidding me? You know, what kind of insult is that to the intelligence of Nigerians? So, all of these people must end up in jail before we can take the president seriously. Then, minister, my star boy, my guy, has messed me up. As you know, I'm so disappointed. Bunyo Joe's name has come up in this thing. He must also face the music. I love the work he's doing, you know, and honestly, I've been singing his praises on my tweets. If you go check my Twitter and you see there, me saying, wow, this is, you know, you mean we can have somebody like this in this country? But here we are. He's just shown himself to be just another. And guess what? This guy, Bumi Ojo, who is now linked up with this, was involved in the Off Your Mic incident. Yes. He was the chairman of the committee that was investigating that thing that Akpabio was referring to as being a beneficiary of contracts. I was shocked. So the video, I saw the video and I could see him. I saw, you know, he didn't come out. He said he recused himself, he stepped down from that committee. But you know, so the man also has a track record of corruption. Okay. So really, for me, I would urge the president to use this truly as an opportunity to break away from the past, to show that he really means business. Because let me tell you, if we do not stop corruption dead in its tracks, we will never make progress as a country. So the president must use this as an opportunity to start what could be a wave of anti-corruption moves and a wave of, you know...
our time is fast running. Thank you, Mr. Shokito. All right, the hashtag BettaGate is a hot trending topic on social media. I mean, go online, literally everybody's talking about it, and more facts coming out every day. Well, the EFCC is having a busy day as well. It looks like they have their jobs cut out for them, because also Farouk, who led the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry during the last administration, is also being investigated by the EFCC. She's been accused of mismanaging 37 billion naira, which was earmarked for the conditional cash transfer program during the last tenure. All right.